This video will cover the last few cases to be able to solve every PBL case, as well as some extra techniques. So firstly, here are the remaining cases that could not be solved with any of the techniques in the previous videos. So firstly, we have EH. So the way to solve this is you put the E corner swaps on the left and right, like so. So this is the corner swap left and right. Then from here, you can do either AA. So if I do AA starting with 1, 0, you can see I get another AA. Alternatively, if you know OPN, another solution you can do is basically treat this as a dual of HZ, since this is basically an E perm, right? It's a dual of Z, and a H perm is a dual of itself. So for HZ, you would solve it with op-O. So in this case, you basically do an O perm on top and an op on here, but instead you want to do the corner dual of that. So that means you do op-PN. So I can do either op-PN like so into PN-PN. So next is FH. So for FH, you want to hold the F bar in front and then H at any angle. Then you just do either SS to get PS. So likewise, if let's say we have HF, hold the F bar in front, and afterwards just do either SS into SP. So a similar case is actually RH. So for RH, you want to hold the headlights in front, like F, but make sure you align the R block, and then afterwards just do SS from this angle. And you'll see you get PS again. And then last for the H cases, we have VH. So for VH, you want to hold the block so that it's in front and then you cut through the block. So either way is fine, but make sure that you are able to misalign it so that you can do KK. So from here, I can't do KK from here, I'll do it from here instead. So KK, and you'll see you'll get PK. So that's how I solve VH. Then lastly, we have op-PN. So this can't be solved with any of the PSK methods efficiently. So instead, what we can do is hold the op vertically, and after that, we slice through the PN-PN blocks like so. So make sure there are different alignments. So usually keep this line, keep this misaligned. Then afterwards, do op-op. But after the second slice, you stop. And after that, do like an E move, so that these blocks are in front. So you don't do an E move this way. So it's like the same, these blocks are in front. The E move that these blocks are in front. Then afterwards, just do JJ. And then just solve the OBL. So basically, it's similar to the single E perm L or the op-Q or op-XL, but instead of PJ, it's JJ. So with those cases, you should now know how to solve every PBL, but I'll cover some easy optimizations that are worth to implement. So firstly, there are some 2CP cases which are quite bad to execute. So firstly, we have double G perms. So in this, more specifically, we have double back G perms. So this is any combination of GO and GA or GA GO which have the blocks they're of different type, but they're on the same side. So for this, all we need to do is just align the blocks and then do KK. So you can see we get edge. So similarly, another example, this is GAR, GOR, so jar, and afterwards what we need to do is just align the blocks like so, and then just do KK, and notice we get edge. And so actually, you can always cancel into the edge most of the time. It kind of depends on what edge arcs you're used to, but a good amount of the time you can cancel to either the one in the back or in the front, like so. So another bad 2CP case is anti-bad GA. So in this case, I have bad GA adjacent GA. So for this, hold the headlights in the back, and after that, just do op-op first, so swap these two edges. And you can see we get PK. So you just need to do op-op into PK, like so. And next, another bad 2CP case. This is AGO. So any bad GA with opposite G, all we need to do, again, hold the headlights in the back, and instead we can just do DD, and you can see we'll get edge. So sometimes you may need to do a double move for the mid ABF, but it may depend on what kind of edge algs you're used to doing. So next, I'll show some cases that traditionally use JR, but since JR is a pretty bad alg to use, being inconsistent, I'll show some cases that you can use alternative solutions for. So firstly, we have EA. So for EA, this is actually a duo of UZ. So for UZ, you actually solve it to edge, and since the duo of edge is PJ, we just do two PJs. So hold the corner swap of the E in front, and then hold the A so that the swap is not affecting the headlight. So it doesn't swap the headlight pieces, it swaps these two. So let's do PJ, and after that you get another PJ. So we should actually use the back PJ so that it's less mid ABF. So I'll back PJ, and that's how you solve EA. So next we have RA, or bad RA in this case. Usually you solve it with good UUs, but instead if they're on different sides, all you need to do is just align the blocks. So align R, and then A, you misalign it. So from here, just do DD, and then you can see we get edge. So next we have EJ. So for EJ, you can actually solve it easier with PX. So hold the J on the left, like, so that you can use PX to solve the CP. So from here, just do XP. E can be from any angle. And you can see we get op. So you can actually cancel into the op depending on the angle you hold the PX. But honestly, just doing XP into op is already much faster than using JR. Next, we have EN, EY, and what is it? VN. So all of these can actually be solved with a very similar solution by using SS as a CPL. So firstly, for EN, all you need to do is just align the N blocks, and after that, misalign the E so that the swap is still in front. You're still cutting through it, but it's misaligned so that it can do SS. So just do SS, and you can see you get edge. Similarly, this is EY. So E, hold from the same angle again. For Y, hold it from the same angle, you do 2CP. So my standard is always just to hold it aligned so that the corner is in the back left, and then just misalign it like so. If you hold this from this angle, you have to align it differently. But from here, just align the blocks like so, misalign the E to SS, and after that you get edge. And lastly, this is VN. So VN very similar, align the N like normal, and after that for the V, misalign it so that you can do SS. So align the blocks but misalign the layer, so like so, and right here just do SS, and right here you get edge. Next we have NF or FN. So for NF, all you need to do is actually use SP as a CPL to get edge. So for the N perm, just align it, align the blocks, you can put it anyhow. And for the F, you want to misalign it while still keeping it on the left. So basically all you need to do now is treat two of the N blocks as if it's an S perm. So in this case, you can think of these two blocks being part of the S perm, and then treat this F as a P perm. So you can do either SP actually. I'm going to do the one where the block is in front. So I'll do a big start SP. You can see I get edge. So actually either SP will work, so it just changes how the edge swap will be. Next we have bad GRs. So the solution actually depends similar to bad GA. So first, let's say we have GOR. So bad GOR, the blocks on the left. We can't do JJ to get good use, but instead what you can do is do a similar solution to double bad GG. So basically align the G block, but instead misalign the R block so that it cuts through it, like this kind. It cuts through it, so the block is being broken up technically. So here, just do KK, and from here we get edge. But instead, if we have bad GAR, what you need to do instead is treat these two blocks like they're part of a B perm. So first hold the headlights on the right, and then just align it like so. And right here, just do BB. And you notice we get up. Next, we have VJ. So for VJ, it's similar to using SP as a CPL. So for this, hold the J on the left, and hold the V on the same side as the shorter end of the larger J block. So basically, this is the larger J block here, and the shorter end is here, not here, right? So you hold the V basically in the front, since that's where it is. And then what we want to do is we want to misalign the V such that it cuts through the slice, so that we slice through it. Then afterwards, just do small start SP. So just start with a small u prime, and do large U. And then from here, you actually get op. So you can actually cancel for this case quite nicely. So from here, just do small u prime, big U, and then continue pushing the layer forward to finish the op. So here's another example. This is VJM. So in this case, the small L of the block is in the back. So first off, make sure you align the J layers as well, the J blocks as well, and then align the layer differently such that it cuts through the V bump. So this is the V block, it cuts through it. Then just do a small U as well, a small SP as well. So small U prime, small U, big U prime, and then you can either finish the SP or you can actually cancel into the op. So for the mirror, you can again just do it's the same angles as well, just mirrored. You can again just do SP into op. But if you want to know the one out for it, which is something worth learning, after you do the small d prime, and then the big D, after you finish your slice, before you slice back, you basically need to do -5 4 or 5 -4 to cancel into op. So in this case, you actually just need to do a -5 4 slice and then a U2 to slice back. So VJ, you can just do SP op, but it's also worth learning the 6 slicer. Next, we have ZJ. So for ZJ, you notice how this is actually a dual of EJ. And for EJ, we learned earlier that this is basically just XP into op. So we actually just do a dual of that solution. So XP is actually a dual of itself. So basically, angles, hold the Z anyhow, hold the J so that the headlights are on the right, align the blocks, then just do XP. Sorry. And after that, you'll notice you get PN, which is a dual of op. And lastly, for JR avoidance, we have NZ or ZN. So basically, all you need to do is a one slice setup to KK. So for this, first off, hold the edge anyhow, but make sure you preserve the swap. So you slice, when you slice, right, it keeps the swap. And for N, just align the blocks. So make sure these two are aligned differently so that you can actually do a slice to KK. So from here, align the blocks, preserve the swap, do a slice, and then bring the end blocks in front. And then afterwards, now you actually just have KK. So just do your KK out. And afterwards, don't do the last slice. You can actually cancel and slice back into to solve the PBL. So again, NZ will slice KK. Before we actually finish the last slice, we actually just need to solve the OBL. So likewise, for JR avoidance, there are some similar techniques that can be applied to RR cases to remove RR from your solutions. So firstly, we have EF. So for EF, it's similar to NF and VJ. Basically, all you need to do is just use SP as a CPL. So from E, we just hold it anyhow so that you slice between the swap, and for F, hold it on the left, and then afterwards you can just do either SP, so either from here or from here, and we're going to do it from here, small SP. So I'll just do SP, and you notice how I get edge. Next, we have EV, which is very similar to EN and VN. So first, make sure you hold the E swap in front and break it, and align it differently while aligning the V in front. So basically same angles from EN and VN. Then from here, you just do SS into edge. Next, we have FZ. So for FZ, align the F layer on the left and align the Z layer such that you break the swap. So hold the swap on the front left, like so. And then from here, just do PJ. And you'll notice you get KK. So FZ is just PJ to KK. Lastly, for the RR applications, we have VZ. So for VZ, there's no grade 2 execution, but the 8 slicer is quite easy and it's worth learning. So basically for angles, hold the V in the front left and misalign it. Hold the Z sword in the front left and break the sword like so. Align the Z layer, and then from here, just remember to start with a big D, small U, and then afterwards you want to do 3 alternating D moves. So from here, we just do a D prime, D, D prime, and then from here, we just need to solve the OBL, just solve the blocks. So bring this pair up by doing an F move, slice, and then afterwards just do a big U prime, and that's how you solve VZ. So for the mirror, basically it's kind of similar. For the Z, hold the sword in the front left or in the back right if you want, and make sure you break it and align the Z layer. For the V, instead we want to put in the back right this time, and after that misalign it, so it's basically a line from here. So you can imagine, yeah, it's a line from the back like so. Then from here it's slightly different. We'll just, instead of DU, we'll start with D prime, big D prime, then a small f. Then afterwards here we can do 3 alternating moves on the Z layer like so. So U prime, U, U prime, and from here we just solve the blocks by doing a small D and a U. So that's actually pretty easy to memorize VZ 8 slicer. So one application of this is by solving this case. This is SO, so this is a pretty bad case, but one way you can make it slightly better is by using VZ. So for this, hold the S blocks like you would force, and so that you force the OR. Like for example SM, you hold the blocks like this so that this opposite colors are preserved, and for the O just hold it anyhow. Then just do VZ and you have OR. So even though that is 8 plus 3, 11 slices, which is not fully optimal, it's much easier to execute, and it's much more ergonomic compared to using JRPSK. So lastly, I'll be talking about some double parity PSK cases that are kind of unfeasible to solve with PSK, like they use NJ or whatever. So firstly, we have MW. So for MW, hold the N misaligned on the left, and hold the H perm corner of the W, so it's in the back left, and after that, so you hold it like so, and from here just do JJ and you'll get DD. So the mid ABF is always an F move to get DD. So here's the mirror of it. This is WM. So again, hold the W H perm corner on the back left, hold the M on the left, misaligned, and from here just do JJ, do an F move, and you'll get DD. Next, we have CB or BC. So for CB, all you need to do is just do an opposite swap. So swap these two edges and these two. So from here, you'll get an R perm on top, and from here, you'll get a J perm. So you can actually solve RJ. So here, we'll just do op, and you'll notice we get RJ. Next, we have SPN. So for SPN, I will solve with YY edge instead of JJPK or whatever. So basically, what I'll do for the PN, I'll hold it so that as if I'm doing YY. So I'll hold the corner here, and after that, for S, I will basically find a corner that is next to the blocks. So this corner is next to the blocks, but it's not part of the blocks itself. So I'll use this corner. I wouldn't use this since it's not next to the blocks itself. Then from here, I'll just do YY, and you'll see I'll get edge. Lastly, I have PJPN. So this is actually a very easy 7 slicer that even though it goes out cube shape, it's quite easy to memorize and execute. So basically, hold the PN corner in the front left, and hold the PJ headlights in front like so. Then from here, the out is basically just first do a 1, slice, do a 2, slice, do a 3, slice, and afterwards do a 0 minus 4 slice, and then afterwards just reverse all the moves. It's palindromic. So 0 4 slice, minus 3 0, minus 2 0, minus 1, and I guess they're supposed to cancel into bar flip. So again, I'll just show it's 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1. So similarly, if let's say we had P and PJ is very similar. Hold the P and corner in the front left, hold the PJ at the bottom, and instead just do 0 minus 1, 0 minus 2, 0 minus 3, and then 4, and then reverse. So minus 4, 0, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's all of the cases I have to cover for this PBL series. So from here, you should actually know how to solve all the PBLs already. So congrats, you finished PBL.